Hello and welcome to Southborough Baptist Church and this, our latest Pause for Thought. I'm really glad that you've taken the time to join with us, whether it's your first time or you've joined loads of times before. You are really welcome. You know, I'm very conscious that we all live in today's world under a great deal of pressure, and that has led to a huge increase in people suffering from anxiety and depression. And it's very common, but very often we don't want to admit it to ourselves or anybody else. So today I want to think about this important subject and ask the question, are you overcome by anxiety or depression? So let's have a little look at that together. Overcome by depression and anxiety. I want to read this to you. Then he went on along into the wilderness, travelling all day. He sat down under a solitary broom tree and prayed that he might die. I have had enough, Lord, he said. Take my life, for I am no better than my ancestors who have already died. Then he lay down and slept under the broom tree. But as he was sleeping, an angel touched him and told him, Get up and eat. He looked around, and there beside his head was some bread baked on hot stones and a jar of water. So he ate and drank and lay down again. Then the angel of the Lord came again and touched him and said, Get up and eat some more, or the journey ahead will be too much for you. So he got up and ate and drank, and the food gave him enough strength to travel for 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Sinai, the mountain of God. There he came to a cave where he spent the night. See, in 1 Kings chapter 19. You know, depression is a huge problem these days, and if you are struggling with thoughts of depression or maybe even suicide, please don't battle it alone. Reach out to a trusted friend or a family member, talk to a professional counsellor, or call the Samaritan's helpline. You know, it's never too late to ask for help. Most of us will battle some level of depression, anxiety, or feelings of hopelessness at one time or another. So I hope you'll find it reassuring to see that Elijah, one of the greatest prophets in the whole Bible, fought his own battle with fear and depression. The full story is really fascinating and worth reading. It's in the book 1 Kings chapters 17, 18 and 19. But the short version is that Elijah had humiliated the beloved false prophets of Israel's wicked queen Jezebel. And in her fury, she called down a curse from her God upon herself if Elijah was not killed within 24 hours. Elijah knew she meant business, and he was absolutely overcome with fear. Here was a man who had always shown amazing courage in his life, now running for his life. He became so depressed that he cried out to God to just get it over with and strike him dead. I mean, think about that. Elijah was so consumed by fear and depression that he was ready to give up and die. Eventually, Elijah fell into a deep sleep. But look how God responded. Twice, the angel of the Lord awakened Elijah and gave him food and water for nourishment. God knew that depression often causes physical, emotional and spiritual exhaustion. So he allowed Elijah to simply eat and sleep. But the real question is, what can we take away from this part of Elijah's story? Well, the first thing I think is this: spiritual lows often follow spiritual highs. Sometimes the emotional or spiritual blues that set in after we've had a spiritual mountaintop or an experience of great joy and victory in life, they're just the normal result of life's ups and downs. The exhaustion of life's emotional roller coaster can cause us to be more susceptible to anxiety. And I think we shouldn't be surprised by that. Sadly, it is a part of the life we all lead now. What goes up will come back down. Here's a second thing. Nothing is impossible with God. After witnessing such a miraculous victory at the hands of God, Elijah was consumed by fear as soon as he did what? As soon as he took his focus off God and placed it on Queen Jezebel. See, when we refocus on the power of God, we can see the same problems that we have and the same fears that we have, but we can see them in a new perspective. And often those seemingly insurmountable problems and fears begin to look a lot smaller when viewed against God's might and God's power. You know, when we really lose all hope, we do begin to hope for death. So here's the third thing. Hopelessness can easily engulf us. I know from my own experience how hard it can be. I struggled with it for a long time. If you're struggling with depression or anxiety or hopelessness, let me just offer something on how to respond. Talk about it to God. I promise that God can handle it. He knows what we're thinking and what we're feeling anyway, and he wants to hear from us, so it's good to go and tell him. And as we do that, we should ask God to refocus us when we've taken our eyes off him. Ask him for the ability to let go of all the anger and self-pity that often accompanies these emotions. We can't get rid of those things in our own strength. And what we do have to do is take it one day at a time. You know, God doesn't promise to give us strength for tomorrow, today. He only gives us strength for today, today. And we need to rest and eat well. It was important to God that Elijah rested and had proper nourishment. And I believe in the same way, this is important for us too. He needed that nourishment to make the journey. We're all on a life's journey. We need it. Don't quit as well, no matter how afraid you are, no matter how anxious you are about tomorrow, no matter how depressed and hopeless you feel about it, don't quit. I promise that God will never ever give up on you. I think the lie of depression is that it will never end, and we can't afford to believe that. Depression may last a very, very long time, but it is usually temporal. Most importantly, we need to keep our eyes and our thoughts turned upward to God. Remember, just as with Elijah, God will never ever leave us. It's as the psalmist said, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you." Psalm 139.
The world waits for a miracle. The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. The child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from a sea of hurt. Oh come, Emmanuel. And can you hear the angels singing? Glory to the light of the world. Glory, the light of the world. oh come, Emmanuel.
Father, I pray that you would really give us a sense of your hope in our hopelessness, that you would shine your light in our darkness, and where we feel anxious and or depressed, that you would lighten that with your glorious presence and your love surrounding us. I pray for everybody watching this who feels in any way anxious or depressed, that you would move powerfully in their lives, in their situation now. In your goodness, in the name of Christ, I ask this. Amen. Well, I want to say thanks again so much for taking the time to watch this short pause for thought. If you liked it, could I ask you to hit the like button? It helps us get it out to more people. In the same way, hit the bell for notifications if you'd like to learn of new videos coming out. And if you haven't already done so, another favour, could you please subscribe? That also helps us to get it out to more people. So thank you so much in advance for doing that. Thank you so much for joining with Pause for Thought. I'll see you online again very soon. In the meantime, check out our website www.slbc.org.uk and take very, very good care of yourselves. May God bless you and just move powerfully in your life.